Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to do something different. We're going to host a roundtable of the current state of WWE. This should be a fun one. We're going to talk about championships. We're going to talk about storylines, lack thereof of storylines, and I got the best podcasters in the world on here with me. So this should be good. Not everyone agrees, so it'll be cool to have a fun debate in this roundtable. So stick around. You don't want to miss it. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. We got James from the Ruthless Talk in the house. How you doing, James?
I'm good, my man. How are you? Appreciate the invite.
Oh, love having you on here, man. We had a really good King of the Ring conversation last time you were on here. So now we get to talk about everything. But we got wrestling from the 313. Mike D is in the house. How you doing, Mike?
What's going on, man? I'm good. You know, Michigan just got a big win. I mean, even though it's against Central Michigan, but hey, a win is a win. So go blue.
I'm with you. I'm close enough to Michigan that I see it in my sports feed all the time. So we got Jarvis in the house. Welcome back, brother. How you doing?
Oh man, doing great, man. Always a pleasure.
Always, yeah. And these guys are awesome. I'm going to put the links to all their channels in the description box below. So make sure you go follow them, check them out. They always post awesome content. I'm watching it all the time. So definitely check that out. Guys, I think we're going to start with the main thing of wrestling is champions, right? We talk about champions and that's what we want to see is them defend. So I think we should talk about the current state of the championships. Are you guys ready for this?
Let's do it, man.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to kind of pivot. Like I might call on one of you at a different time to talk about a championship, but everyone's going to have a chance to talk about anything they want on here. So if you want to intervene, just, kind of butt in there. But let's start with the undisputed WWE Championship. So right now, Cody Rhodes is the champion. He's held it for 41 days so far, and we haven't had any defenses. I don't think we've had any appearances either. So I want to start with wrestling from the 313. What do you think of the current state of the undisputed WWE Championship?
I would like to see them create more challengers. Because it looks like at WrestlePalooza, Cody's going to be going up against Drew McIntyre. I'm expecting Cody to beat Drew, so it's like after Drew, who's next? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think WWE have guys that they can push up to that next level. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. So it's time to start kind of pushing them guys a little bit more and putting them into that title picture because they deserve it. They've been putting in the work, and like I said, they just need to start building more new stars, in my opinion.
No, for sure. I totally agree with that. I mean, right now you have in that picture, Cody and Randy and Drew, and it's like, and then who?
So, but as far as him being the champion, I'm cool with it. I know he hasn't been on TV a lot. His wife just had a baby, and he's about to be filming Street Fighter, the Street Fighter movie. So for me, it's nothing typical from what we've seen from other world champions in WWE. Hulk Hogan used to take time off to do his movies. The Rock used to take time off. Stone Cold, John Cena. So it just comes with comes with the job when you're the champion. So I'm cool with him being the champion. I just want to see more new stars being built or new challengers.
Yeah. And I guess not to completely disagree, just a slight disagreement is that I like Cody as champion. Obviously sells the merch, he's got the kids with him, all that, but to beat John Cena and then get written off like a week later was kind of like bad timing. Like as long as if he would have beat John or lost to John Cena and sold his injuries from the match and then goes and films his movie, and then when he comes back after a few months, like say Drew is champion at that time, the pop would have been huge and he could have went right after that. But I do like Cody as champion. I just think with everything WWE, the timing is always off. Like they're just like, okay, we're gonna put the title on him, but now you're not gonna see him for weeks.
I think that whole story was just that whole storyline, Cena turning heel when him going against Cody. I just think it was just done bad. Like when The Rock didn't participate, and then the whole Travis Scott thing. I think it just totally messed up the whole story.
Yep, for sure. I'd like to get James' opinion on this.
Um, where do I even start? So, I mean, again, I also agree with the fact that I also don't mind Cody as champion. I think that he is a tremendous babyface. I still don't understand all the people that want to turn him heel just for the sake of turning him heel, which makes absolutely no sense. And as far as this matchup with Drew McIntyre, man, it's like, can I curse on here, T, by the way? Is it okay if
Oh
I
yeah,
curse?
no, we
I don't think it's the fact of the matter is that they're not building any new stars. Well, that's obviously a problem. But as far as the storyline goes, nobody gives a fuck about writing good storytelling. I mean, think about
yeah.
it. Like we're the last several weeks, right? To where we get it. Cody Rhodes is off filming Street Fighter. That's why he had to written him off TV the way Drew McIntyre did. But over the past couple of weeks, right, there really hasn't been any effort to build up Drew McIntyre. He cut a promo, he said a bunch of words that had no substance and no meaning to it whatsoever. And now you throw Randy Orton into the mix because he's his only friend, I guess, that Cody Rhodes has. And we keep prolonging Randy Orton as a babyface when I don't know when the freaking time is going to pull the trigger when we're going to get Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, because that needs to
Mhm.
happen at some point, like as of yesterday. So I don't know
Yeah.
what the heck we're doing as far as storylines, and when they just fall straight into your lap and WWE just wants to hold off on it, and we talk about timing, and then when we do these matchups, it comes at the worst possible time imaginable. So look, I like the fact that Drew McIntyre is in this position. I think that Drew McIntyre should be given the world because he's that damn good and he's that damn good of a professional. But as far as this matchup, man, I just don't care because there's really no story. It's all filler. There's really no story. It's just that Drew McIntyre laid him out, and then him and Randy Orton have been brawling for several weeks. And then Cody comes back. Like you said, it was very anticlimactic because of the fact that he is the champion. And you had to use AJ Lee as an scapegoat to build up some ratings, to build up some actual frickin' some suspense for people to give a shit about your product because you had the lowest active SmackDown rating 2 weeks ago. And you had to use AJ Lee for that spot without Drew McIntyre or anything. So, it's just there's no effort. There's absolutely no effort into anything that this company does. And if they would have at least used some ounce of creativity and I get it, Cody Rhodes and him being there definitely hurts it to a certain degree. But as far as the position of these people, I don't mind them being in this position. But it also comes to a conclusion to where, okay, Drew's going to take this loss, and then what else? And as he should, by the way, because Cody Rhodes
Mhm.
is he's not going to lose this championship, nor should he. So that's my take on it, honestly.
All right. Jarvis, you have anything to add?
I agree with a lot of what everybody said. But Mike said it like you got Solo Sokoa, you got Jacob Fatu. Like the stars don't even need to be built. The stars are already there. Like these guys are stars already. We just have to give them storylines that make sense to transition into championship matches that we actually care about. But to James's point, like everything is filler. So it's like it's becoming cut and paste every week. It's like you
Yes.
okay, because right now they have a formula. You're gonna open up with a promo on SmackDown, then you're gonna go into a Sami Zayn Open Challenge match, then you're
Oh
gonna have a
yeah,
women's
man.
match, and then you're gonna have some sort of variation of
Very
either the
formulaic.
MFTs and somebody or Drew McIntyre and somebody, and then it's gonna end with some sort of disqualification or something at the end to supposedly hook you into wanting to watch it next week. That's the formula. And it's so formulaic and it's so fucking boring
Yes.
that it makes you not care about the most important championship in the organization. That title
Yeah.
used to be like the main thing. And Mike said it earlier, like, it's nothing it's nothing we're not used to with champions not being on television every week. We didn't see Roman all the time. We didn't see Brock Lesnar all the time. And so that's fine. We didn't see Hogan all the time. That's perfectly fine.
Mhm.
But there should still be a storyline that's compelling enough for us to be anticipating that return of Cody Rhodes. I couldn't have given a shit less about Cody Rhodes coming back last night
Same, bro.
because I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I
two
just had a
other
golf clap. I was just like, oh, it's Cody Rhodes. That's great. Fantastic. Like I didn't give a shit, man. It's so formulaic. You said it out perfectly. You said the right word. It's formulaic, dude. Everything is so formulaic and it's so redundant because they don't care, bro. They don't give a crap. Whatever gives them,
it's all
the way
about
that they can get the
pops
bottom dollar
and ticket
and
sales.
pops. Yeah,
Yep, it's all
exactly.
about pops and
The
dollars. Yeah.
pops and the moment and and some nostalgia thrown in there as far as like you're gonna pay Brock Lesnar a couple millions of dollars to show up at WrestlePalooza, John Cena. By the way,
Right.
even if John Cena when he's gonna be retiring, right? Don't think for one second that WWE's not gonna try to throw millions of dollars at him to make appearances once his retirement's
Oh yeah.
done.
Oh, he's gonna be at Saudi
Stone Cold
Arabia.
Steve
He's gonna be at
Austin.
Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
oh, absolutely. So that's just the problem, man. It's just like you have a bunch of suits and ties. You don't have writers. You have a bunch of suits and ties that don't give a fuck, or they just don't know what they're doing. It's one of the two, man. So that's it.
yeah. And two other
Hey,
stars I
Travis, I
wanted to
gotta
bring
say
up
that.
too.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Um, yeah, two other stars I wanted to bring up. Carmelo Hayes, like he was like what the third pick on
No,
SmackDown,
number one
and
pick.
you
Number
got
one
him.
pick.
Oh,
Yep.
snap!
Number one overall.
Yeah, so it's like, why you not building him for better? You know what I'm saying? Like,
He won the
at
Andre
least
the
put
Giant
him
Battle
in.
Royal.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, the story, the story he got with the Miz is just like,
I
where
hate
is
it.
it going?
I
You know
hate
what I'm
it.
saying?
I
Yeah.
hate it.
And then it's like, what are they doing with Uncle Howdy? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why not take some time? Like I know that the White Six, they the tag team champs and they got the thing going on with the Street Profits. But give Uncle Howdy his own story with somebody and build him up instead of just being somebody that's sitting in a rocking chair and talking riddles and stuff,
Yep.
So that's just my opinion.
I would like to
I was
see
gonna
Uncle Howdy challenge for like a U.S. title or something,
exactly
just to give him, because when you're a faction, like you already have tag team titles, the goal of a faction is what, like the Bloodline, we got the gold, we got everything.
domination.
So it
Yeah.
is interesting that he just is happy with his rocking chair and his lantern. And he's like, yeah,
That
I'm good
faction
here.
doesn't even need championships, man. Like they're supposed to be supernatural. They're supposed to be diabolical. They really don't even need championships for you to book them properly. And that's the problem about booking nowadays. It's just like when we think of like, oh, let's throw a championship on Carmelo Hayes, or let's throw a championship on the Wyatt Six, and then the company is like, hey, see, we're giving them championships. We're giving you guys what you want. No, like just because you're throwing it's like putting lipstick on a pig, right? You're throwing a championship across somebody's waist. That doesn't mean it's good booking. Nobody's gonna give a shit about what they're
Right.
doing. That's the problem. And someone mentioned like the Wyatt Six, right? When watching SmackDown just last night, Bo Dallas, the insertion of Bo Dallas, I think that's an entity that I think the Wyatt Six truly needs. To where like that
Yeah.
missing piece, because obviously, I mean, right now with Uncle Howdy and the shtick that's already going on right now, it sucks the fact that WWE, as far as supernatural characters, they don't know how to book them. They just don't, unless Bruce Pritchard has to carry the load because he's the guy that of course booked the Undertaker. He's responsible for people like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, and all of that stuff. So it's got to be something you got to now go into, not really a 180, but you have to now enter another identity. And I like Bo Dallas kind of now being that new identity of the group, to where like, and you keep, it's like if you want Bo Dallas to be like almost kind of like the ringleader, and then you have Uncle Howdy is like that every once in a while, supernatural entity, kind of like what Finn Balor is to with the Demon, and same goes for like Funhouse Bray with the Fiend. Like you should be showing that character every so often to
Mm-hmm.
make it feel special. But the problem is that you're not putting the Wyatt Six in proper settings and proper storylines to make fans give a shit about them. Especially with the fact that how Supernatural is booked nowadays. Like fans are going to be turned off by it because they're not being put in the right scenarios. But I do like Bo Dallas and how, of course he's trying
Mm-hmm.
to create a wedge between, the Street Profits and, the promo that he cut. It's different, and it's something that I think the Wyatt Six definitely needs, as far as like if they're going to get any momentum at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Now that that went down a whole rabbit hole of like we just don't have any stars on SmackDown. So on the flip side, let's bring it to the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins. Let's start with Jarvis this time. What do you got about his reign so far? He's held it for 42 days and he's had 2 defenses.
So Seth is the right person to have the title. I mean, he should have cashed in and done the whole deal. So no problem there. He's also leading the vision right now. So it makes sense for the vision to be coming to fruition. So it totally makes sense. I am exhausted on him and CM Punk though. Like I'm like I mean we've seen it at the opening Raw on Netflix. They had like a match and I mean they've literally been at it since pretty much CM Punk's debut, with the exception of when Seth Rollins was hurt. It's like they've been, somehow they've been in each other's way. I'm sick of that. There needs to be other challengers for Seth Rollins outside of CM Punk. I don't need a CM Punk lengthy CM Punk title run anyway. I would love to see him go somewhere else and elevate someone else. Maybe you can get him on SmackDown and see him elevate, people on that brand, work with some other people, maybe challenge Cody. But I don't know. We need, and there is talent there. The talent is built in. We have so many good stars. I mean, we can't even call up people from NXT right now because the roster is so loaded. Like the roster is so loaded, do we really even miss Kevin Owens? Because like there's 5 other people that can fill in those spots. So, I think the championship is with the right person. To speak to that. His title run is fine, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him outside of this CM Punk situation because obviously that's going to happen again. So you're going to have the mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza, and then coming out of that, if I was a betting man in Perth, we're going to get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins Part 10, and we're going to get AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. That's where all roads are leading for those things. And it's just like, I'm over it. LA Knight has been in like every Raw main event for like the past 3 months, Mason. Ever since he showed up, he's been like main event versus a Braun Breaker, main event versus Bronson Reed, tag team main event with this person. We know he's never going to get the championship though. So like he can go to the back of the line, like, but let's put some people in his way that actually make sense. I would be open for a one-on-one Seth Rollins Jey Uso feud. I see they're adding some levels to Jey Uso's character a little bit. I don't think they're going to turn him heel, but I like him kind of becoming Roman Reigns. I like him. I think that makes sense. Like you become what you despised because you like it's easy to kind of judge when you're not the top guy, but you got a taste of being the top guy. Now you understand you got to be a dick a little bit. You got to be an asshole. You can't be worried about LA Knight and everybody like. So I think that would be good, because I know everybody says he has 4 moves and everything. All top stars just have 4 or 5 moves. I mean, if we're being
John
keeping it
Cena
a
started
buck,
it.
all real like so there's no problem with that. He just can't cut a fucking promo. Um, so I just want to see some variety in this. I think Seth needs to hold it till Mania, probably. And I would assume it would be him and Roman at Mania, and Roman walks away with that title. Probably that would be how you'd bring closure to that. But I think it's in a better state than SmackDown overall. It's just you got to keep Seth Rollins away from CM Punk.
But see, there's one. I have a lot of thoughts, but we're gonna work through it. But the one thing is, when you say that like Roman probably walks away with that title, this is why WWE books himself into corners because if he does, it doesn't make sense. And the reason it doesn't make
Mhm.
sense, he literally called that the loser's title. He said that's the
Correct.
secondary title. I have the
Right.
best title. So for him to like want to
Correct.
go after that, it's like, oh, you want the loser's title now? But
Correct.
and when we're talking about stars with these titles, like, okay, we don't have enough stars to do it. They do that because of the stupid draft, because people are locked into their show and now they're only locked into certain storylines they could do. If I'm them, the next draft they do a draft and say, okay, these are the shows they're designated to, but they can always appear somewhere else. Right. That way you don't know if a Seth Rollins shows up on a SmackDown. Like you don't know, and you can do different storylines that way. You could have CM Punk like, I know I'm part of the Raw roster, but you know what? I gotta itch. I need this undisputed championship. Then you can open up way more storylines and get more stars in the mix. But
But
that's
see,
just my opinion.
you said it. So you said it. There should only be one world champion per federation, per company. That you can't have two world champions because somebody's always going to feel lesser. And so then with them doing the cross brands, if you're going for the undisputed championship, you should be able to, wherever that brand is, you can compete for that title because it's only one championship. You can have multiple, and that would elevate the mid-tier titles. You have an Intercontinental Champion on Raw, you have the US champions on SmackDown for both men and women, but you only have one real world champion, one world men's champion, and we definitely only need one fucking tag team championship
Yeah.
because, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the only time we need doubles is the mid-card titles, the mid-card singles titles is the only thing. Everything else, because now those titles become important because, hey, Roman and Cody and Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins and all them, they got the main title, locked up. Drew McIntyre and all them. So, hey, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, all these guys are in that mid tier, but it feels important because week to week, this is what title's being defended on TV.
Yep. Yep. Let's go to James. James, I know you're itching to jump in here.
Man, Seth Rollins. Where do I begin with Sethington? I don't give a shit about Seth Rollins holding on to this title because we've gone through this experiment already. Because he's a heel, yet he still comes out to this fucking theme song that I cannot stand whatsoever. It makes no sense for you to have a theme song for fans to pander to and to sing along. Yeah, he looks
Right.
and sounds like a heel because people are singing along to his frickin' entrance song. I'm alone. Anyway, so look, man, the vision of dumbasses, I don't care. What do they call Braun Breaker? A unpredictable dumbass. They call frickin' Bronson Reed the tribal thief, even though he has no more shoes anymore. So I don't know why you're still doing the shtick anymore. And I was kind of digging it to a certain degree.
I was digging it too.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just, and then you have Paul Heyman, who is called the Oracle. He went from the Advocate to the frickin' frickin' what?
The
The
wise
wise
man.
man. Thank
Wise
you.
man.
The Advocate, the wise man, and now to the Oracle. And the dude is so out of place, bro. Like, he's not even a mouthpiece for anybody. Seth Rollins does all the frickin'
Right.
talking.
That's
It's
right.
just a very weird. It's just a very weird group. However, I really do like the insertion of Becky. Becky Lynch has been killing it. She is the only thing that I can
Oh, yeah.
find any ounce
Yeah.
of entertainment on a Monday Night Raw show. Other
Yep.
than that, I'm being put to
Yep.
sleep. Like, honestly.
Right.
So and I
Right.
think with Seth Rollins, that insertion for Becky is what Seth Rollins needs with his heel character. Him alongside his wife Becky makes him 10 times more of a heel than with the Vision. Just period. End of story. Because of
Yeah.
the fact that Becky Lynch
Yeah.
lately, and this is what I can't stand about WWE. I can't stand like the cool heels that you want to cheer and you want to sing along to, right? With their theme song, their entrance, right? You got no choice but to cheer them because they're so cool. And I get it. There's heels that come across that way. But as a heel, man, you got to give people a reason to boo you. Like, don't give somebody something to latch onto. Like, you are a freaking heel, and I feel like Becky has been doing that better in this company than anybody. So being attached to Seth Rollins, it just fits. It's like The Miz with Maurice. Like, The Miz is already a very underappreciated talent in my opinion, but with
Yeah.
Maurice by his side, that just uplifts him tenfold, because of
Mhm.
Maurice alongside him, and that's the same thing here with with Seth and Becky. So that was the only entity of this Punk and Rollins story that you could have gone, because if not, then it would have just continued to drag along, and it would have just been probably filler type of brawls, because we know how much Triple H loves his freaking brawls, because you see that every freaking Monday and Friday night. So that's the only reason why I think Punk should be holding on to this championship, because CM Punk is always putting on good work. I don't give a shit about people saying like, "Oh, he's old and he's not as, as great as he used to be in the ring." Yeah, sure, he's not. But you know what? At least he brings a fucking pulse to the damn show, because every time he spits on
Yeah.
this microphone, people give a shit about what he's saying. And with him as the champion and how he won the championship, it only makes sense. And whoever it is you want to build to take that title off of him, then by golly, do it if you do it correctly. So with Seth Rollins, man, I don't give a shit. I don't give it but with Becky Lynch, because of how Becky Lynch
Yeah.
is putting on better heel work than her husband, is what's at least making me somewhat interested about Seth. And then
Yeah.
someone mentioned LA Knight, man, like LA Knight. So now the plan is for LA Knight is that we're now going to put him in a feud with Jey Uso, the same guy that for 8 months we tried to have him win the Royal Rumble, or he did win the Royal Rumble. He won the World Championship at WrestleMania, and we know how, and we heard the freaking backlash because of that, right? You had some Jey Uso fans that were like, "Oh, hey, I like this decision," but then there was also people like myself that were just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And clearly as day, the way they took the title off of him, they knew it wasn't working, right? And it's because of the
Mhm.
fact that WWE loves to just pander to the live audience, right? Some of these talents, yeah, they're good talents, and they have a lot to offer and they have a lot of value, but they're only over to the live crowd, because if you look at the numbers, they're not moving the needle. Jey Uso as the world
Yeah.
champion was not moving the needle. And because you tried so hard, Triple H, for 8 months, now you want to turn him heel, supposedly, because you have nothing for LA Knight. You got to give something to LA Knight. So let's have two faces have some conflict. And what's the payoff? We're going to have a yeah and yeet fest? Yeah, yeet. Yeah. Oh my fucking God, bro. What's the payoff?
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, what are we doing? We're turning people for the sake of turning people, man. And listen, the whole Roman thing, oh, it's because like, oh, Roman told him like, hey, like, fight for yourself, like forget trying to, be the team guy or be the team player, right? So now you see the change in attitude. Like, you don't need to turn Jey Uso heel. Listen, I can't stand the Yeet just as much, I'm sure, as maybe a lot of people. I can't freaking stand it. But if you want to do that in the mid card, if you want to do that as a tag team guy, do that.
Yeah.
Him and his brother Jimmy kill it together.
Oh
They're
yeah.
awesome. They create such good chemistry. But when that dude is out there by himself, dude, the dude is so out of breath.
Mhm.
Even his own father has said it himself that the dude was freaking exhausted during his entire world freaking title run. The dude can
Yeah.
barely jump over the top rope. I mean, these are things that we just see with our own eyes, and we just have to be honest
Yeah.
about it. So it's just like we're placing people because we don't know what to do with these people. It's for the short term. That's what it is for LA Knight. That's what it is for Jey Uso. And maybe for the short term, for the time being, it's working with Becky. But if Seth Rollins is going to hold on to this title till Mania, man, that's good. Good luck. Good luck, man.
Yeah. I will tell
Yeah.
you
You
this.
you you mentioned that they play to the live audience. They also pander to the content creators, not us, but those ones that like Trav. This was what pissed me off. It was no secret last week that AJ Lee was probably going to be on SmackDown on
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. Why the fuck were all these content creators losing their fucking minds when she came out? In your fucking living room, losing your mind because AJ Lee, a Divas Division person from the PG era, you're that fucking excited, and it was no secret. They pandered. They want those reactions too, and they want the live crowd reaction. You're 100% right on that.
And I love,
Yeah.
I love AJ Lee, man. I think the way that they did set up the return though, because of how Becky and Punk have been exchanging, segments from what was it from Monday Night
Yeah.
Raw. I think that was the show in Paris. I think after Clash in Paris, I believe, and then there was the SmackDown show the week prior, or yeah, that SmackDown show that she did return to. So I listen for AJ Lee, right? Let me say this, man. I don't know what they have planned for her after this. I like AJ Lee. I think she's a trailblazer. I think she holds such a she holds that it factor, right? To where like you just can't
Mhm.
teach it, right? Because like she goes out there. I mean, if you watched
Yeah.
her promo this past Monday, dude, like you just felt the personality just ooze out of that television screen for how like
Hmm.
she was
Hmm.
just talking and her mannerisms, dude. And now like we want to like do this WWE ID shtick to where we want to go all to these indie wrestling schools to teach them the WWE way, to hit their bullet points, and they're all stiff as hell and they're trying to all talk the same way. But no, man, AJ Lee came from a different cloth, and it was just for her and what
Yeah.
she brings to the table, it was refreshing. But I hear what you're saying as far as like crowds marking out, and trust me, like I hear this is
Yeah.
awesome every freaking matchup, and I'm just like, is it really an awesome match? Honestly,
Right.
like we're like freaking Tozawa and freaking Mystery Iguana can have a match, and people will lose their fucking shit. Like
Yep.
it's unbelievable. But yeah, man. But I
Yeah.
hear
Right.
what you're saying as far as that. Yeah, I hear you.
No, Jarvis knows. He's been on here with me a few times that I cannot stand the pop culture because they want and like TikTok. I think TikTok has ruined people's attention span because it's always these minute clips of like you
Yeah.
freaking out over a moment. You get millions of views for it, and it's like it's not authentic. It's not like what we're doing right now is
Yeah.
authentic. But I just wanted to bring up 2 points before I get to Mike here. But I went to SmackDown when AJ Lee came back because it was in my hometown, Chicago. And you
Oh,
are so
that's
right
nice.
because like when Seth Rollins' music hit, like everyone's doing the
Hmm.
whoa, and then he
Hmm.
even tells them like, "You guys are so stupid." It was during the commercial break. He's, "You guys are so stupid singing my song," and they kept doing it. I'm like, "What is happening in this crowd?" But anyway, there's just too much to talk about. I got to get to Mike here because Mike, I know you've been waiting. What do you think about Seth Rollins?
Um, I'm cool with him being the world heavyweight champion. It's it's messed up because it's like the world heavyweight championship doesn't have as much prestige as the actual undisputed championship. So it's just kind of like I look at the world heavyweight championship as like, well, we got the belt on Cody. We could give it to you too, but so we just gonna give you this consolation prize, and that's kind of it's kind of like the NBA Cup, the in
Yeah.
season tournament. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got
Yeah.
you got Cody, who's the actual champion, the NBA champion,
Mhm.
and then Seth Rollins is kind of like the NBA
The
Cup champion.
Emirates Cup.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, like the storylines, like with him and CM Punk, I wouldn't be surprised if this stretched all the way to WrestleMania next year.
Oh God.
I could
Oh, it will.
see
It will.
I could
Hell in
see
a
a
Cell.
situation where they take a
God.
break from the story, and then I could see Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Punk getting back into that into that mix because he was on Mania this year, and even though he was in the main event, he didn't win. He didn't get his moment.
Yeah.
So I think that could be part of the story of, him getting the championship, and every time he gets the championship, Seth cashed in on him. So that's the only reason why I could see this going on, stretching, but I could see them taking a break from it so people don't get too tired of it. But yeah, I have no problem with him being the champ. I'm also interested to see where they go with the World Heavyweight Championship when Gunther comes back. Because nobody's mentioned him. I know he's got the injury and everything. But when he comes back, where does he fit into this?
Gunther's
And
got to go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's where he
Yeah.
needs
They
to go.
need
But
heels.
keep going. I just
Yeah.
want to get that out before I forget.
And Roman, I don't want to see Roman as the world heavyweight champion. Because he still didn't get his rematch with Cody. I still think he kind of got
Exactly.
unfinished business with that. So they got to try to find a way to put him back into that mix. And as far as and I kind of want to say the same thing that I said with SmackDown that they got to do with Raw. They got to build more challengers, because it's like Seth is already beaten. He's not going to lose to LA Knight. He's probably not going to lose to Jey Uso. I mean, who do you build up? You know what I'm saying? I would like to see Finn Balor back in the world title picture, since he's the leader of the Judgment Day.
Good luck with that.
And eventually, I think Dominic is going to be in that world title picture too. So
Yep.
I think Raw and SmackDown kind of got the same issue with like challengers.
And I'll be honest, I don't mean to interrupt, but like the challengers you just mentioned, like Finn Balor and Dominic, you have a heel champion, and you just mentioned two heel talents. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So like you mentioned LA Knight, you mentioned Jey Uso. Those are your top baby faces outside of Roman Reigns. So it's just like, and this is what I mean about like Punk should still be that champion right now, because yeah, you have a Finn Balor, you have Dominic Mysterio, and listen, with Dominic, man, I get the hype as far. I say I get it, but I also really don't. I mean, I don't really care about what Dominic is doing, because he's still stuck in this whole Judgment Day stuff that also will never freaking end either, because Liv Morgan's hurt. So Dominic is staying in that whole Judgment Day spiel. But like, you have again people like Dominic, you have people like Finn Balor that are just stuck in a story, in a constant loop of a storyline that just won't end. But with Seth Rollins, it's just like you're gonna put him in there with Dominic and a Finn Balor, two heels. You're gonna split your audience for two people who are trying to get heel heat. It's just very odd. So it's just, we're not putting people in the right scenarios, and we're not building them properly to get to that scenario. It's just like, oh, people want Dominic to win a championship. Okay, there you go. We're putting him in a championship match. Oh, you guys want LA Knight to be more in the main event scene? Well, here you go. Here's LA Knight. We're gonna act like we're booking him properly because he's in the main event, right? Okay, well, just because you're given a main event just doesn't mean that you're gonna be looked as such as a main. Now, listen, LA Knight's great. I'm not saying LA Knight's not great, but like, you got to make people feel that like they're getting to that certain position very organically, right? It's just like, dude, Maven was thrown into a freaking main event, for God freaking sake. Like, come on, man. It's just we're not getting into the nuts and bolts of how these people are getting to these certain positions. We're just throwing them there just for the sake of it. So,
and I've said it on the. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
And I kind of want to say too, I think WWE kind of killed LA Knight when they put him in that match some years ago against Roman Reigns.
Oh, dude. Oh,
and then
he was done since the Money in the Bank ladder match. He should have freaking won it 2 years ago. It's like, dude, you put the. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize. Like this just drives me up a wall, because listen, I love LA Knight. The dude is the full freaking package. But yeah, we're gonna push people like a Damian Priest, who never was ready to be in that position to begin with. And you know how I know that? Because Damian Priest is now in the mid card, and this dude was a world championship. So this dude got demoted to the mid card, and now they want to put LA Knight in the main event scene. Dude, he was white hot 2 years ago. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Right.
But yeah, continue. My bad for cutting you off.
And then I think too, when he was the U.S. champion and he had a nice run, and then he lost to Nakamura, and then he got it back maybe like a week or two later, and then lost it again to Jacob Fatu. I think that's what definitely killed LA Knight right there, because it's like, you had your opportunity to against Roman. You knew you wasn't ready. We all knew that he wasn't going to beat Roman, and he wasn't really ready yet. So you put him in a match. You let him get beat. You give him the mid-card title. He keep it. He get a pretty decent run. Lose to Nakamura, who we don't know what they doing with him. He in WWE playing Shredder or whatever. And and it's like, now you trying to find something to do with him, and it's kind of just like, it's kind of too late now, you know.
And to everybody listening who's listening to this, guys, WWE has had 5 U.S. champions in the last 7 to 8 months: Shinsuke, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn. Tell me that you don't know what you're doing without telling me you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So
there.
You know, I've mentioned this on the show before, but like when it comes to like these feuds, right? WCW did a great job at this. When you have a championship, other matches on the show, they were calling it like the power rankings. Like, okay, this guy is number 10. He's going to face this guy number 8. And, you know, obviously the guy at 10 wants to win so he can go to 9. And they just want to keep leveling up to get to be number 1 contender for the title. So you can have all these storylines like built around, like, I don't hear enough people saying, like, I really want to get a championship. It's just they just willy-nilly walk around like, I guess I'll just fight this guy this week, and oh, that guy
Right.
looked at me wrong, and that no one cares about championships until it's like time for them to fight for one. And like it should be a lot more like WCW. You'd see it all the time, like, oh, you know, William Regal's the TV champion, but that's where I really want to go, so I got to win this match to get to that. Like we don't see enough of that, but we've only gone through 2 championships, so we're gonna go ahead and like kind of couple these together. So the women's world champions as a whole. Okay, let's start with James on this one. So you have Vacant and Tiffany Stratton. My quick opinion, Tiffany Stratton is very bland to me as champion. I don't like this long reign she has because I think that after a couple of months, she kind of ran out of ways to make this interesting for me. It's just, she's just kind of there. And Vacant, I think Io Sky and Stephanie Vakir is going to be a banger, but I don't have high hopes because if Io Sky wins, this is going to be a great match. The last time she was champion, they hid her in a closet. And you didn't see her. There was no, but then when she loses the title, oh, now she's got like 4 storylines going on. And it's like, why couldn't you do that when she was champion? But James, women's world champions.
I guess I'll start with the Vacant. The Vacant matchup makes no sense because again, it's two baby faces. This company, I don't know what it is, bro. We love to throw 2 baby faces and heels. It drives me up a wall. Like, what do you expect these people to do when they're trying to pander to the crowd and to get the fans to be behind them? They can't do that when the person in the ring is doing the same thing and nobody says a word. Nobody. So that's just another mini rant. But so again, the match again, but James, it'll be a great match. Okay, great, fantastic. Just what we need. Another banger match that nobody's going to talk about in the next freaking 5 to 10 years. Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, Io's got this whole situation with Asuka that can be interesting. So even though again, man, Asuka, I don't even know why they want even to turn Asuka heel. I mean, everybody adored Asuka. She got such a great reaction when she came back, and now you want to turn her heel because we gotta. And again, Io Sky and Asuka. Look, I'm all for it. Like I think that would be great. But for you to just mesh like the damage control, right, to kind of reenact that when Asuka, from what I thought, when they were going after. Or when Asuka was still in the Queen of the Ring tournament, it's like, hey, damage control is done. There's no more damage control. And now all of a sudden, like you're so like protective over Io Sky every time she talks to Rhea Ripley or frickin' Nikki Bella. Like it's kind of interesting. But I'll give it a chance. I'll see where it goes. I guess I have no faith in it, but so I'm guessing. Listen, Stephanie, the way that she was put on a pedestal at WWE Evolution, the way that Stephanie McMahon pumped her up by winning that Battle Royal, there is no doubt in my mind she's probably going to be champion sooner rather than later. Maybe not at WrestlePalooza. Part of me would think that they want to make that moment bigger for her, possibly maybe the Royal Rumble and winning it at WrestleMania, or maybe they just pull the trigger now because of the situation with Naomi and her pregnancy. Either way, the situation is still fucked because it's 2 baby faces in a match. And Tiffany Stratton, man, listen, I actually don't mind Tiffany Stratton. I don't. The problem is, bro, is that they have nothing for her. They have no, bro. Once again, Jade Cargill, who is fill in the blank, guys. She's a what? She's a baby face. Thank you. She's a baby face. What? And it's the same match from SummerSlam. So again, bro, tell me that you don't know what you're doing with Tiffany Stratton without telling me you don't know what you're doing. And now you want to throw Nia Jackson there. She's going to get her 7,987th match for this World Championship against Tiffany Stratton. Slight exaggeration, but you guys understand my point. And it's going to be a triple threat. right? Or we're gonna get Nia Jax and Jade Cargill again for number one contendership. Like this is the build. Like this is the payoff that we're gonna get for Tiffany Stratton in a big championship match, and we wonder why nobody cares about Tiffany. Now, if you want to make the argument that she's better as a heel than a face, yeah, I can understand that. I think she would be a fine baby face. I thought she was a fine baby face against freaking who was it, Charlotte Flair, even though there was really no story to tell. The only thing that was anything memorable was freaking Charlotte talking about sliding into Kaiser's DMs. So yeah, man, the whole situation with both of these ladies is a mess, and I get it. You know, Naomi with her pregnancy, I get it. It's an unfortunate situation, but like WWE, you're not doing anything to benefit these ladies with the audibles that you're calling, and with Tiffany Stratton, like again, you have all of these amazing talent. And again, the best thing on NXT is their women's division by far. Like you have all
Mhm.
of these great women's wrestlers, and you want to keep throwing her in matches with Nia Jax. Why? What the fuck is the payoff? What are we do? What is that doing to elevate Tiffany Stratton? I don't get it because I don't mind Tiffany Stratton holding on to this championship because at some point, if you book somebody up correctly, Tiffany losing that championship is going to be much more meaningful in the moment. But the person that you're taking
Yep.
the title off of, you got to build them up properly to that said moment. So I don't mind people like Tiffany Stratton holding on to this championship still. Doesn't mean I want them to hold it on to it for like over a year or two. It doesn't have to be like a Roman Reigns
Yeah.
situation. But you got to have Tiffany Stratton drop it at the right in the right setting in a big fight feel to the right person that's being built up. Who's that person? I don't think WWE knows that answer. So that's my take.
They're also scared to like have anyone take a loss that's a big star because the only reason Nia just got inserted into this is because she's going to take the pinfall. That's why she's in this. Is
Correct.
that they don't want Jade to lose, they don't want Tiffany to lose, and it's like
Absolutely. Yeah.
to build feuds. It's okay to have Jade lose. It's okay if Tiffany loses and goes back to chase mode. A fun fact: Tiffany Stratton currently is the longest reigning champion in WWE at 253 days, by the way, and she's had the most defenses at 7.
8. Okay.
So um, there, that is that fun fact. But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I'm curious to see what Jarvis has to say on this.
I mean, if there are two titles that they have made us get, well, there's several that they've made irrelevant, but like, I mean, when have either title been defended? Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like you said it earlier, Io Sky wins that bomb ass match at WrestleMania, the probably the best match on WrestleMania both nights. They kill it. She beats the two biggest stars. She in the ring with the two biggest female stars. She walks away victorious, and we don't see her again for a long time. And then we finally see her, and she loses.
She gets cashed in
I
on right in that
or
match.
she yeah, and it's just like, I think Naomi would have made the title relevant. She was killing it in the promos. She really, she was the best heel for a little bit, in my opinion. With her heel work, I mean, her and John Cena both turned heel this year. We thought we'd never see either one of them turn heel, and Naomi's killed it, and John Cena didn't, right? So I was looking forward to her title run. And I was looking forward to her having it until like the Rumble. I didn't expect her to have like this, year-long run or, 10-month run or anything like that, but just lengthy enough for it to really validate that heel turn and the change in the character. And then for her to elevate, Jade, elevate someone on the way, put someone over and then go have her baby. That's what I was hoping for. I knew she had a baby on her mind, but I would have rather, go that route. But, it is what it is. I guess Jimmy Uso handled his business, so it is
Yeah.
what it is. Um, in terms of the vacant, it's I don't want to see. I don't want EO to be. I feel like Eo's probably gonna win because it seems like they're building towards something with her and Asuka. So that's probably going to be, somewhere maybe at Survivor Series. I don't know what that's going to look like. Or no, it's actually look like they're building. Now that I'm thinking about it, they're actually building a Survivor Series match: Kabuki Warriors versus probably Rhea and Io and
Nikki
it's
Bella.
probably yeah, Nikki Bella. It's gonna be something goofy like that. But that's where it's gonna go. So I think EO's probably gonna win. I think Stephanie Vaquer is more of WWE's long-term
Yeah.
strategy, and I know in terms of strategy, there's not very much strategy or creative with the current regime, but I do think they see money in her.
Yeah.
Um, so I think they're going to give her a bigger platform than, well, I mean, WrestlePalooza is probably a big platform, but it's not a huge match, right? In the grand scheme of Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, the tag team match with Punk and AJ versus Becky and Seth.
Yeah.
So I don't, that's probably going to be like the second match, if not the first match. So I don't see them doing that. I think they're going to elevate her at a Mania, um, or at Elimination Chamber. They'll elevate her in a big setting, I believe. I mean, if they did it for Dominique Mysterio, I think they're going to do it for Stephanie
I
Vaquer.
mean, she
Um,
was on the press conference for the announcement for Saudi going to
True.
WrestleMania being in Saudi. So
Yep.
that shows you how much
Yep.
stock or how much value they see in her as far as that. And who knows? I mean, because of the
Yep.
fact that it is the first show for ESPN, I mean Mark Shapiro said that like they want WrestlePalooza to be bigger than WrestleMania and SummerSlam, like just as big. So they could pull the
Right.
trigger, but yeah, because the thing is with Io Sky or Asuka and Io, right? It's just like that's a situation to where you don't even need a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like there's feuds that
Right.
just don't need a
Right.
championship involved. So it is gonna be very interesting to see what they do. But I'm in the same boat as you because of the fact that all of the value that they do have in Stephanie. I don't think that they're just gonna just have a vacant championship match be her climactic moment. So, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah, and then with the other championship at Tiffany Stratton, I like Tiffany Stratton, but she might be a little miscast as a babyface. I think she's more of a natural heel. She has the Barbie doll look. She has no issue being a bitch. So like, I feel like lean into that. Let her be a heel. Let her be a dominant heel. Let her, win by cheating. So I'm okay with it, but her being a baby face, and then she's opposite of Jade Cargill, who's also a baby face. So it just, and they both seem like heels, and certain things that they do. It's just weird. So um, I think it's a little better than the situation on Raw, but not by much. I am not here, and I like Nia Jax, but I'm over her and Tiffany Stratton. I mean, that's no different than CM Punk and Seth Rollins. We've seen it a million times. And Nia Jax is not going to beat her. When Tiffany loses, it's going to be to a bigger star. And Nia Jax is just one of those plug and play. You just throw her in a feud, and she'll get the job done. But she's not on your WrestleMania posters and stuff like that. So um, there's a lot of, when I look at, when you think about evolution and how great of a PLE that was, it really showed the amount of women's talent we have. So fucking feature it. Like show this talent on a weekly basis because P, Evolution was better than WrestleMania. The women
Yeah.
standing alone on a super card held up better than the whole card on this super show as well. So, I think, so with the way that the women's titles are being booked, both the main titles and the mid cards are all being booked like shit, except for the women's IC, and that's because Becky Lynch is Becky Lynch is approaching GOAT status, you know.
Mm.
And this heel run is, I'm gonna be honest, there are a few people I wanted off my television just a few short years ago. Dominic Mysterio was one of them. Becky Lynch was another one. They have both earned their keeps on my television screen.
We'll go to Mike D. What do you got to say about the women's titles here?
Um, I have no problem with Tiffany Stratton being the champion. It's just go back to what James has been saying. Like all these matches, you got baby faces versus baby faces. I would like to see Jade Cargill turn heel because, like, for me as a baby face, she's cool, but I just from when she was in AEW, she was a heel, and I think she was a pretty good heel, pretty decent heel. Um, and I just think that it's another situation that we've been talking about with the men. They need more challengers. Nia Jackson's already been beaten by Tiffany Stratton. Jade Cargill's been beaten by Tiffany Stratton. She's beaten Charlotte Flair, so it's just like now, who's next?
Mm-hmm.
And for the women's championship, even though it is vacant, I think this is the opportunity to put the title on somebody new and put a fresh face on it. So I personally think Stephanie Vaquer is going to win. Um, Another person that I actually think should have been in this match, Roxanne Perez. I think Roxanne Perez has been killing it the past couple of years, you know, even with her working NXT. And I definitely think that her being in the title picture would have helped because it would have put a fresh face on it. I definitely don't want to see Rhea with the belt for a while. I don't really think Io needs it again. I think if her and Asuka are working into a storyline, they don't need the title. So I think the direction that they need to go with the Women's World Championship is put the belt on a fresh face, and I
It's
think
possible.
Stephanie would be perfect.
Yeah. While we wait for Jarvis he's trying to come back in. We're gonna go back to Mike. We haven't started with you in a while, Mike, but we have the mid card titles. We have Sami Zayn as United States champion and Dominic Mysterio as
Yeah.
IC champion. I see James is ready for this one. My quick 2 cents on this: Sami Zayn. If what we're gonna get is these incredible matches every week, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this open challenge because Sami Zayn and John Cena, I saw it live. What a banger of a match. It was just really good. And the work we did with Ray Phoenix last night, those near falls were outstanding. There was a great match. But I don't want to see him just be the match of the week guy either. I do want to see him feud with someone. I don't know if Solo is coming back to feud with him over this, but
Probably.
probably because they just can't get the problem. This is the biggest problem is with Triple H. It's always long-term storytelling. It's like it's okay to have a month-long feud. You don't have to have Sami Zayn versus Solo until War Games of 2026. You don't have to do that. You can have a quick feud and move on to the next thing. You can do that. It's okay. It's okay. But Mike D, both mid-card titles. How we feeling?
Um, I think we need to go back to the days when the mid card titles were the workhorse titles. You know, when you put the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title on guys that, okay, you know, in a couple of years, these guys are going to be the world champions of the company. Back in the day, they did it with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Razor Ramon, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think that they need to get back to that. Even with WCW, they did the same thing with Booker T. They did it with Goldberg. They did it with Scott Steiner when he was Big Papa Pump. So I just think that that's what they need to go back to. And when you if you remember back in the day, they used to tell good stories, you know, with the Intercontinental Championship. When Bret Hart used to feud with Mr. Perfect and the matches that they used to put on. Bret Hart and the British Bulldog when they had they had the big match at SummerSlam some years ago. So that's what I want to see them do with the mid card titles is take it back and make it the workhorse championship before the mid card champion moves on to the world championship. And as far as the champions, was it Sammy? I personally think Sammy is better than the United States Championship. I definitely think that he should be more in the title picture. It's a sort of kind of a fresh face, but like James said, you don't want to keep having baby faces versus baby faces. I like Dominic as the Intercontinental Champion, and that's just the same thing with him. Like, who is his opponents? He's beating AJ Styles. You pushed up Penta to make him, he kind of came in as a big star, and it's kind of like, he's been taking, been kind of losing lately. So, what you gonna do with him? Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's just my opinion. I would like to see them be those belts be the workhorse titles again.
Yeah, I agree. James, I know you're itching here to get in here, so let me know your thoughts.
I'll save Samuel Zayn for last. I'll start off with Dominic. Again, I don't mind Dominic as the champion. I just wish I just cared more about what he's doing. That's the problem with most of these people. It's not really their talent level. It's not really the value that they possess. It's just that we don't care about what they're doing. And that's just how I feel about Dominic. Listen, I respect Dominic and how he's gotten to this point as far as now being a double champion. And that's one thing, right, that I want to mention. You're noticing a lot more double champions recently. Wasn't that something that was like every once in a blue moon you would have somebody just wear 2 belts? Now everybody just wears 2 freaking belts nowadays. It's like, you get 2 championships, you get 2 championships. It's like, it's starting to kind of run its course. I'm sorry. Again, but much love to Dominic. He's doing his thing as far as, people have a liking towards him. He's developing a fan base, and that's great. But the problem is, it's just that for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, like, I just don't care about what he's doing right now. He's had his moments with Styles and those little interactions backstage. Those had, again, their moments for what they were. But nothing has really been on the edge of my seat to be like, I gotta watch Dominic Mysterio and what he's gonna do this week. I would just be lying to you. I don't mind him holding on to this championship. Again, it's just like, if you don't have a set plan for somebody that has been built up properly to take that championship, then you keep it on Dominic Mysterio. It's the same thing I said about Tiffany Stratton. Unless you don't have a definitive talent that has been built up properly to take that title from Tiffany, you keep the title on Tiffany, because when she loses that championship, it's going to mean that much more to the person that she's dropping it to for who you're booking to that said scenario. So that's for Dominic. And now Samuel Zayn. Guys, man, Sami Zayn, here's what I will say about Sami. Sami is right where he should be, which is in the mid-card, because Sami Zayn is nothing but a mid-carder. He's a good talent, but he's a freaking mid-carder. I'm sorry. He's a guy to where if I would have walked past him at a local Home Depot, I wouldn't do a double take, honestly. I don't understand this agenda for Samuel Zayn to where they're trying desperately, fellas, desperately, to have this dude have the Rocky story, to be in this Rocky story. He's got to climb, he's got to scratch, and he's got to claw to the world championship. I'm going to be world championship someday. Does that sound familiar? It's everything that you've been doing with Jey Uso for 8 months. Building up to WrestleMania. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's like there was Stone Cold and The Rock, and now it's Jey Uso and Samuel Zayn. Those are your top freaking faces. Let that sink in. It's just like, what are we doing, bro? It's like, again, on one end, he should be in this mid-card. That's where he should be. But him being the United States Championship, for everybody that is listening, because I'm being serious, how is this going to move the frickin' needle? How? Because you had him win the championship at frickin', where was it, Paris? and he got this great reaction, right? He got a great pop, right? Because, like as Vince Russo would say, Triple H is the king of pops because he just loves the freaking viral moment in the pop. And he would have never gotten that reaction anywhere else. And guess what Chicago did? And freaking I know you were there, freaking in Chicago. They booed the shit out of him, didn't they? And there's a freaking reason for it.
Sami Zayn
he was booed out of the freaking building.
Zayn's
and
promo.
There's a reason why. Listen, look, I'm a New Yorker, but I have a respect for people who are from Chicago because those people who are wrestling fans there, they are honest and they will tell you straight up how they feel. And they told Sami Zayn how they freaking felt that freaking night when he interrupted John Cena because, he's like, from the entire locker room, we just want to say thank you. Like, bro, like, when did you become like the spokesperson for the locker room? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, you might as well would have just sent Cody Rhodes out there. Like, what the fuck? It is so, I don't want to use this term, but it feels so forced. It really does. Listen, I don't hate Sami Zayn. I'm not a fan of Sami Zayn. If you were going to make me give a shit about Samuel Zayn, the guy that works from 9 to 5 at my local Home Depot, if you wanted me to give a shit about this dude, then it was during the whole Bloodline story 2 years ago. When he fought Roman Reigns, what was it, an Elimination Chamber in Canada? That was his moment. But guess what? The roadblock was Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes was on his way to win that championship. He should have won it at 39, but he won it at 40. It was an anticlimactic way to do it, but that's what they did. So yeah, man. And again, Sammy's had his moments. He has some value to the company. But if we're really going to go to the extent to put on a championship on this dude, to be the mid-card title holder, what is that doing for anybody? For anybody. Because, like, now we're going to have him do the John Cena way, to where we're going to have him be in open challenges, and we're going to remind people how Sami Zayn is such a great wrestler in matches with Cena and Rey Fenix, two baby faces, by the way. Tell me like you have nothing for Rey Fenix without telling me you have nothing. You had a situation to put him in there with Penta on on Monday Night Raw with the New Day, but his freaking payoff is done because they already beat the freaking New Day, him and the freaking Viking Raiders. So freaking Rey Fenix is going to be probably on the unemployment line with Andrade, probably. Who knows? But with Sami Zayn, dude, listen, I'll end it with this. I know I'm going very long. But, like, Samuel Zayn is a mid-carder. He's where he should be. And I don't know why we have him holding on to this title when we've had 5 U.S. champions in the span of 7 to freaking 8 months. Solo Sikoa was putting on really good work and was actually getting some momentum for the first time since the Cena victory 2 years ago. Right? Jacob Fatu. I mean, does anybody give a shit about what Jacob Fatu's doing anymore? We all like Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's a great talent, but let's be honest with ourselves. Does anybody really give a single shit about what Jacob Fatu is doing? No, he's too busy yeeting with frickin' Jey Uso and frickin' in a dark match. The fuck, bro? This mid-card division fucking blows. And you have Samuel Zayn, the local 9 to 5 at the Home Depot, frickin' running the ship. Fucking out of here, man.
Yeah. Jarvis is back and he's gone, so I'll ask him his thoughts when he comes back. But when we go to the women's mid card, we both have already, all of us have already pretty much agreed. Becky Lynch is killing it.
Absolutely.
She's doing a great job. So much prestige in that title. And when I tell you in Chicago, the heat that she draws is out of this world. I've never heard anything like it before. She is just, in the way she was saying it and like involving people, because even when people weren't booing as loud, then she started shitting on our teams, and she said, the Bulls suck, and then she pointed at Kobe White, who was ringside. She was, and you suck so bad, they're going to trade your ass. Like, people were just hating her. We all agree that she's doing a great job. So let's just talk about Julia at the moment. So Julia is United States champion. 78 days she's held the title, and she's defended it once. I think twice, maybe twice, but I think it's once.
It was with Michin.
It's been booked like shit.
I think it was just with Michin, I believe. If I'm missing another title defense, but I think it was just with Michin, yeah.
Yeah. Then she defend against Zelina Vega.
Oh, too? Yes, Zelina Vega. So it's been twice.
So two
it's so irrelevant that I just forgot. So
yeah. But that's the problem is, like, they called her up. They made her a mid-card champion. She is talented as hell. She's so good.
Absolutely.
And what do we do? Like, that was my main event in the Allstate Arena, is Julia and Michin. That was the main event before the AJ Lee stuff.
Yeah.
But Julia's so good. She's being withered away with this title. Like, it's just, there's no prestige being built. And it's not Julia's fault. It's WWE's fault. They don't put her with anyone else except Michin. And then when that feud is over, then what does Julia do? Are they going to keep her on TV? Because she was off TV for a while as champion. But let's start with James on this one. So what do we think of Julia's reign?
That's my thoughts. Look, man, listen, my podcast is called Ruthless Talk, so if I sound harsh, then I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell people. But listen, I like Julia, but it's clear as day that we see where WWE's priorities lie. They see Stephanie Vacuur as more as, I guess, the meal ticket than Julia. It's clear as day. I like, was it Kiana James is her name, her new manager now. I like that role for her. I think you can do a lot with that to be a mouthpiece. But, you know, it's like you said, man, it's just like they have nothing. How about the idea to give out mid-card championships to these ladies, right? Who remember everybody thought that was such a good idea? I said it from the frickin' jump, man. It's just like, okay, you're going to put mid-card championships on these people with the same frickin' booking before they got these frickin' championships. And now we're all wondering, man, wow, this is not working out the way we all thought. You frickin' think, because I called this from the frickin' jump. It's just like more championships means more fun. No, more championships means this company doesn't know what the hell to frickin' do at all. My God, man. So Julia, dude, like... Now, T, let me ask you this question. How quiet was it when Julia wrestled Michin in Chicago? How quiet was it?
I was able to talk to my co-host MVP, and I didn't have a hard time hearing
that tells you everything you need to know, dude. And listen, and like you said, it's not Julia's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's this company just has no value and has no... They're giving them absolutely nothing. It's just filler. It's just legit filler to fill up the show for freaking 2 hours, man. And that's unfortunate because, yeah, Julia is a tremendous talent. We all know that the talent that Julia possesses. And even for Michin, man. Like Michin and Chelsea Green, they were in a dumpster match. I thought that was freaking entertaining, thanks to Chelsea Green. Man, it's just that everybody has a place in this company, right? It's just like we want to pinpoint out somebody that doesn't have talent and can't wrestle. And some of it may be true, but everybody has a place. And no doubt Julia has a place. But it's clear as day, bro. They're just going to continue to run matches back with Michin, maybe enter B-Fab, and we're going to have a tag match with Kiana James, Julia, B-Fab, and Michin. And we're just going to go from there. That's what it is. It sucks. And yeah, it's just like, you know, to everybody who thought that this was a great idea, how's it turning out? Because I got ripped for it because like, oh, James, like it's gonna give them the spotlight. Is it really, bro? Because AJ Lee has to come into this freaking company. She hasn't been here in freaking 10 years, and she is getting all of this freaking equity and all of this buzz, not being here in this company for 10 years when you have people in your company like Julia, right, who is busting her ass, who did have to do a lot to get to this point, and you are giving her absolutely nothing. So you give her nothing, but yet we'll give AJ Lee a call. And I love AJ Lee. I think she's great, and she has a tremendous hit factor. She's a trailblazer. And if you can deliver a phone call to call up AJ Lee to be a part of your company, you freaking do it. But man, at some point, man, you can't keep relying on the nostalgia. You can't keep relying on these people like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, The Rock when he finally freaking comes off his movie set, freaking who else? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is Stone Cold Steve Austin at 90 years old gonna waltz down the ring with two freaking bad knees? Is The Undertaker gonna try to deliver a choke slam with two bad knees at the age of 85? Like, what are we doing, bro? Anyway, I'll end it with that. I know that went further than Julia, but
Oh yeah, no. I mean, no, for sure. And I mean, I will only slightly disagree that I do think that the mid-card titles for them is a good idea if you use it the way it's supposed to be used.
sure.
On Raw, it's being used the way it's supposed to be used. You have stars feuding for a title, and Becky Lynch is doing a great job. It's more credit to her than anything. But when you have a mid-card champion like Julia, and you say, okay, we have you as this champion, and then you do nothing, like you said, then yeah, what was the point? Why would you bring it up here to?
And you're absolutely right.
That's why you're supposed to do it.
No, you're absolutely right. And listen, like I said, listen, 2 mid-card championships, I think it's like, listen, just subtract it to just 1 mid-card championship. If you want to have a mid-card title, I'd rather have a mid-card title than women's tag titles. I'd rather have a mixed tag division, honestly. How fun would that be? With Miz and Maurice, right? If you want to, again, I know he's not part of the company anymore, but you could have utilized freaking Selena and Andrade if you wanted to have them to be a freaking tandem again. You already have Punk and AJ Lee. You already have Seth and Becky, right? Like when you do mixed tag, what was that?
Oh, I was gonna say you could have utilized Karrion Kross
and Scarlett. Dude, I can freaking go down the line, man. How fun would a mixed tag division freaking would be if you do it properly? Honestly, I'd rather take that than women's tag titles. And yeah, T, you're absolutely right. Going back to your point, but it's again though, it's just like, how are we going to elevate these titles with the same type of booking before these titles were even a thing? And that's my problem. So, but yeah.
Yep. Mike, thoughts on the United States Championship?
I got the same. I feel the same way about the women's mid-card titles. The same way I do with the men's. This should have been the workhorse championship for the women's division. It was perfect, but I think they messed it up with bad booking. And then you got to think about all of the releases that they had a few months ago. You get rid of Shayna Baszler. You get rid of Tegan Knox. You get rid of Katana, the tag team, Chance and Carter.
Yep.
I think that you get rid of women that could have been good for that mid card division or the tag team division, and not just that, you still got people like Ivy now. You still got Natalya. You still got Raquel Rodriguez. So it's just like, do something. And then you still get Lyra Valkyria, who's in this whole Bayley storyline.
Don't get me started on that.
But yeah, it's like you got to use these titles to these mid-card titles to be the workhorse championships. And even then, go to NXT like we did mention. The women's division in NXT is probably the best thing in WWE right now. Like, why not call up Lash Legend or Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Toxic Attraction to be part of the mid-card or tag team division or whatever? But yeah, I that's just my thing. Overall, those 2 belts should be the workhorse titles for the women, and they need to find a way to elevate that.
Yeah, for sure. I just got a text from Jarvis. He has no idea what's going on, but his thing cut him off and he can't join, so we're going to finish without him. So the last championships I want to talk about is all the tag team championships. Now there's 3 of them. Do you have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss? You got the Wyatt Six, and you got Finn Balor and JD McDonough. And between all 3 of them, there's been 5 title defenses within like 4 months. So we're not defending them. JD McDonough and Finn Balor have defended once. It's just wild. So in my opinion, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, if you're not going to do anything else with the division, just have Braun and Braun win these damn things and feud with the Usos over them. At least then it gets some exposure that it desperately needs. The Wyatt Six, I mean, I like the tag division in SmackDown. That's the strongest tag division in the whole company. They're doing a great job, and it shows that when you have a lot of tag teams that can come in and work that, and you can do different stories, and it's very intriguing. You don't really have anyone on Raw. You don't have anyone, and then how do you fix that? You take tag teams from SmackDown to Raw. Well, then SmackDown's going to suffer. So I agree I forgot which one of you said it earlier. There should be 1 tag team championship. And then you have all the tag teams that can feud and try to win them, right? Mm-hmm. But and then the last one, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, but I kind of like it. they're doing good. The problem is the only way that tag division works is if you have two main event stars that just tag together. Like eventually this year, you're going to see Rhea Ripley and Io Sky hold these things. It's going to happen. That's the only way it works with that tag division. They don't have many tag teams that feud over those. So, what James said earlier, those tag team championships, I said it almost a year ago, just get rid of them and have the mid card titles. That was before they introduced them. Because then at least you'll have a lot more women feuding over the mid card titles. There's not much happening with the tag team championship. It's just not important enough for me. But Jarvis has been gone. He's back now. I'm gonna let you start with the the tag team division here.
I'm assuming we're doing both. I'm not trusting my connection too much, so I'm gonna try to get my shit in quickly. Um, I think they gotta be unified. One tag team. We're talking about the women's or the men's.
All of them.
Oh, we're talking about all of them. Okay. Um, yeah. As far as the women, absolutely, it's garbage. They have not done a good job of booking them. I love the resurgence of to the Charlotte Flair character, kind of in a different light. I'm appreciating that, and but it's just not. I mean, outside of Raquel and Roxanne, I mean what are we the Kabuki Warriors? I mean, the division is just it's just not there. It's the I think the women's mid cards can be elevated a lot more, but the tag team division, no, I don't think it's working. As far as the men's, the SmackDown side absolutely cooks. They've got a lot of good tag teams. I mean, they've had those TLC matches that were just great. So it feels like a real tag division there that we honestly haven't seen in many, many years, where you have, a few legit tag teams where you're like, okay, we can cook, with this. But, before that, I mean, we had, oh my God, those awful tag teams of and just those makeshift tag teams. I hate the makeshift tag team where you just throw two mid-carders together that aren't doing anything to keep them in something that's they're not really doing anything meaningful. But you make them champions. I hate those, even though I know I'm probably shooting myself in the foot because I just said like Charlotte and Alexa, they're kind of a makeshift, but it's okay when there was some kind of story of them that brought them together. But sometimes you'll just pop up on TV and, Sheamus and Cesaro had they went 7 matches and then they said they're going to get a championship match and it ends up being a tag team match or whatever. That was what they were doing. So I'm over that tag team division on Raw. On Raw, there's like nobody. And you actually had goal with the New Day at one point with they turned heel, and of course Triple H got creative board, I guess, and they couldn't just figure out how to keep two veterans that have done this forever over as heels. So you just give, and that was to me, that was what was going to really build the tag team division was around the New Day because they're a good tag team. They've been together forever, but now you have this new added layer where they're getting this crazy heat. They were actually in Houston couple weeks after they turned heel, and I was at the show, and I mean they brought them out after the cameras went dark to get them more heat. They were getting heat that I hadn't heard in many, many years, and you throw that away. And so, now it's the tag division on Raw is just it's terrible. And it just sheds light on it just needs to be unified because you can't keep two tag divisions alive on on a show that's written by Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
That's true. Um, Mike, let's go to you. What do you think about it?
SmackDown tag division, I like. I think I would like to see more heels. It seemed like the only heel tag team that they got on SmackDown is DIY. Wyatt Six kind of play in between. Street Profits kind of play in between, but for the most part, Their tag division is active. Um, the Raw tag division is awful. I don't like the fact that, and I still keep saying it. I still don't like the fact that Finn Balor is a tag team champion. And I don't know, maybe with the Usos getting back together and Braun and Bronson Reed being a tag team, maybe they'll use those two tag teams to kind of boost up the tag division in Raw. I don't know what they're doing with the New Day. Xavier Woods coming out looking like a stripper. Um, and then what they doing with the Viking Raiders? Like the Viking Raiders are a very good tag team, or the
Forgot
War
about them.
Raiders that they're a good tag team, and it's like they had the belts for a minute, they lost it, then they just been kind of put to the side.
Yeah.
The women's tag team, the women's tag team championships. I honestly, I would like to see the women's tag team titles go back to NXT. I think NXT would do something better with the women's tag team titles than what WWE is doing. It's just like they just putting tag teams together, and it's like they put the belts on them to kind of give them some shine. I mean, if you look at the champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, that was kind of a team that was put together. Bianca Belair and Naomi, so it just seemed like they got a reputation of just putting women together and making them the champions. I think they should just let somebody from NXT beat
Hmm.
the women's tag team champions and let them take it over there. I think they do something with them more than the main roster would.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. James.
I mean, yeah, for SmackDown, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of tag teams and a lot of good tag teams. The problem is, man, is that we continue to pass around those tag titles like it's a bag of Skittles. Because I remember DIY held on to those titles, frickin' Motor City Machine Guns held on to those titles. Remember when Motor City Machine Guns fellas won those titles, right? There, it was going to create exposure, right? It's gonna show that Motor City the Machine Guns are here in WWE and they're here to take
Hmm.
names, right? You're trying to book them up. And guys, what are they doing? Nobody cares about Motor City. I like to call them the Motor City Super Soakers because that's just how they're booked as far as like everything that they're involved in. And all they do is now is just freaking lose matches or they're just 50-50 booked now.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's tag teams, and then once you get to the big pay per view, the PLE, as far as the TLC match at WrestleMania, yeah, it was great, but you have to rely on your own talents to just put in all the work, and it's not you can't just it can't be booked that way anymore, right? Yeah, the talent will save your ass, and they'll do great what's been given to them. But if nobody's caring about, again, what they're doing, you can't just throw all of these tag teams in one spot to where like we would just see a bunch of tag teams brawl and then out comes another tag team, everybody's backstage arguing with Adam Pearce. It's just like it's a clusterfuck of teams, and now the Wyatt Six are
Hmm.
a part of all of this in this same freaking shit. And you know what I'm saying? And so again, I know a lot of people don't like the Wyatt Six. They don't really like the supernatural stuff and everything because it's not booked properly. But you have the titles on these dudes, and you have to keep them on these dudes at least for the foreseeable future. Now, once again, I like the whole Bo Dallas entity into the group to where I think that can add a lot of extra layers of what the group is trying to accomplish. I think less Uncle Howdy and keeping him in the shadows and allowing him to
Hmm.
pop up every now and then, just like again the like with Finn Balor and the Demon, again like Bray Wyatt and the Fiend. That's how Uncle Howdy needs to be utilized. So there's something missing with that group, and I think Bo Dallas is that perfect entity to give that team some momentum, to put them in some really good segments and storylines. So the
Hmm.
Wyatt Six, they don't even need championships, bro. That's the thing, man. It's just like Undertaker. Undertaker is larger than life with or without a championship, dude. Papa Shango, you
Yep.
could have like Papa Shango never needed a freaking championship or anything like that. You just give him freaking good booking. Bray Wyatt. I'm probably the biggest Bray Wyatt fan, fellas, you'll ever meet in your life. I couldn't have cared less if Bray Wyatt won a world championship or not. I could have cared less because Bray Wyatt was already that damn good, and anything that he was going to touch, it was going to be turned to gold. So there's that. The Raw tag title division, it's a mess. I mean, Finn Balor, like the dude the dude just won his first singles match since the Stone Age, which again I guess is an applause to him. Again, it's unfortunate with Judgment Day that they're just in this revolving door of the Judgment Day storyline that nobody can get out of at this point. And it's crazy how, again, I go back to heel versus heel, babyface versus babyface. Do you guys remember who these frickin' dudes beat for the frickin' tag team titles? They beat the frickin' New Day, who are also frickin' damn heels. The entire frickin' heel turn that you did, turning on Big E, which was, again, a great turn. And you built them, you've done nothing after that to where Big E was never even a layer or a certain entity. Not saying he had to wrestle, nor that I don't even think he's even clear to wrestle, but even if you wanted him to be a part of the show, like utilize him in some shape, form, or fashion. And they realized that they blew their load with that whole Big E turn. They didn't know what else to do. So they just had a revolving door of them just going out there and trying to collect heat when they had to blatantly insert crowd noise to where it was no longer organic. It was no longer authentic. And you took the titles off of them and you put them on another fucking heel team. Like, I've never seen booking this fucking bad. And listen, I grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era. I've seen the 2010s. Like, that was pretty much like my middle school, teenage years. And it was freaking bad, as I'm sure you guys know. But I have never seen confusing booking like this in my life. It's so bad. So yeah, I mean, Rock, and as far as the Raw tag division as a whole, it's just like, again, there's tag teams. There's the Viking Raiders Experience Adventure, whatever the fuck they're called now. The War Raiders, I think now. Again, whatever they're freaking called. They've been given several freaking names in the last 2 years. So it's all a mess. The tag team division, as far as booking, is all a mess. And then the women's tag division. Roxanne and Raquel, I actually like them as a tag team. They actually look the part. They look like a tag team. They felt like a tag team. But once again, with the Judgment Day stuff, it sucks that they're also a part of this revolving door with the Judgment Day that just does not end. And Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, man, I can't stand this freaking team. I can't. It is so bad, dude. The segments, like, dude, they're pretty much a downplay of Team Hell No and RK Bro. Right? They're trying to be kid friendly. It's for kids, and it is so corny. It is so cheesy. It is so fucking bad. Like, Charlotte Flair is trying to tell Alexa, "Oh, stop being a pain, and you're becoming a pain in my A word." And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? This is so like, oh, but James, it's giving Charlotte Flair a personality. It's to help uplift Charlotte Flair. Guys, we've done this before. We've done this before with Charlotte. They tried to do this with Asuka, to be a part of a tag team. And guess how that ended up? Nowhere, because now we're in the same situation with Charlotte Flair, trying to uplift her as a babyface. So they can do this all they want, but it's not going to work because we've done this before already with Charlotte. Charlotte Flair should be a heel, period. Period, end of story. Because listen, again, Charlotte Flair is a good talent. I don't think she's great. I'm sorry. I think she's a decent talent. She's not as great as everybody says she is. She's not. But she cut actually a decent promo just a couple of, I think it was like a week or two ago after she lost to Tiffany at WrestleMania. And she was playing like the entitled, spoiled brat character, like, and it's like, hey, if you keep booing me, I'm going to leave and never come back. I thought that was great because that's what people narrative is about you. They think that you get everything as far as championships and all of this stuff. So play into that, right? Play into it. But no, we want to make Charlotte Flair likable, and it comes off so fucking forced. I don't understand why we can't just do the simplest amount of booking for Charlotte. And it's going to do nothing for Alexa Bliss in the long run. Nothing. Dude, she got the biggest reaction in that freaking Royal Rumble matchup was it last year? Yeah, last year, just this past year, or just earlier this year. She got
Mhm.
the biggest crowd reaction possible. She had all this steam, she had all this momentum, and guess what we're going to do? Because we need that same exact amount of steam for Charlotte, let's put Charlotte with Alexa because Alexa's getting all the cheers. And guys, it's going to do nothing. It's going to do nothing for Charlotte because we've done this revolving door. And I'm telling you, give it 2 to 3 months tops. Once this tag team is over, Alexa Bliss will be back in freaking catering or on TV every once in a while. And because there's no freaking payoff. There's going to be no payoff. And that's the problem with this team. And someone mentioned
Yeah.
again Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I guess if you want to go that route with the Usos, I guess. And again, man, it's a situation to where titles don't even need to be involved, but that's how inept the booking of the tag division even is. So, and that's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, I mean, I was going to go over all the storylines too, but we've done that as we've talked about this. We actually did a very good job talking about everything here, I feel. So, I'm going to go around one more time. The Council of the Wise Podcasters. We'll start with Mike D. What is your overall grade on the state of the WWE? All the championship, the storylines, everything, ticket prices, whatever you want to talk about. What's your final state
uh,
of it, current state?
uh, I would probably say it's a C right now. I think. I mean, it's WWE. We always gonna watch WWE, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT. But I would have to say overall, with some of the booking, with the rise of the ticket prices, and just some of the moves that they've been making, where it's really been about the money instead of doing what's right for the fans. I think that's what bring the grade down. And yeah, I give it about a C minus.
Okay. Uh, Jarvis, same for you.
Uh, I'm gonna give it a D plus. Um, and I'm being real critical of it because they don't have a talent deficit. They don't, so the product should be great. We should be getting great storylines, great programming week to week. We're not getting it. We're all these PLEs back to back to back to back to back has also watered things down and not made the PLEs feel as special. But of course, they're doubling and tripling up on the PLEs so that they can move on to another offer so they can go make some more money. And then where are they making money hand over fist? At the actual PLEs because they are charging an arm and a leg no matter where they are with their record gates. Um, and I think the ticket prices and everything is just WWE is being used right now to help TKO get out of debt because they've got the most versatile product. They've got a product that can generate this kind of money really quickly by getting all these TV deals and the Saudi Arabia deals and all that. So they've got all this money coming in hand over fist. So they're making a killing at the gates. They're making a killing at Netflix and ESPN and everybody else that's paying top dollar for the product. So, but that's what's watering it down because it's all about the moments in the arenas. It's all about the pops and the prices. You're literally when you go to pay for your streaming service, when you go to pay for your ticket in the arena, you are paying to see a pop. That's it. You're paying for the AJ Lee pop. You're paying for the Brock Lesnar, whatever you want to call whatever reaction he's getting. You're paying for those moments. And as people that follow this closely, we care to see good programming on Raw, on SmackDown, because that's what should be selling me to want to see WrestlePalooza. It should make WrestlePalooza feel like a must see. But I mean, we just found out that Drew and Cody are having a match at WrestlePalooza, and it's a week out. So how can we care? So yeah, B plus.
All right, James.
I don't know if y'all can
And
see that. If you can't see that at home, there you go. The lighting's maybe better. That's a big fat F. Guys, I'm not here to bullshit. I'm actually being dead serious. This experiment, and this goes even way before TKO. This experiment with Triple H and his long-term creativity. The guy that is not a writer, right? He's not a head writer. He's a former performer trying to be a head writer. This experiment has been god awful.
Right.
It has been awful because, guys, let me ask you this: what storyline outside of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre from start to finish has been consistent? The Bloodline? Don't give me the Bloodline because that was a Paul Heyman Vince McMahon experiment. Don't give me the Judgment Day because that was also a Vince McMahon experiment.
Exactly.
Outside of that, over a bracelet, there has been nothing. This dude, as a creative writer, sucks. He is awful. And this dude should have been relieved from his duties as of yesterday. And the fact that now, right, now we want to go into this whole, maybe TKO situation, right? The ticket prices and all that. Fellas, like, here's what I'll say about that. We use professional wrestling, right, as an escape. We use it as an escape because we love it outside of everything that goes on in the world, right? And as we should. And WWE by the day continues to show you how greedy they are to continue to price people out to the point to where Mark Shapiro even said that Vince McMahon, to where, say what you want about Vince McMahon, about the early 2010s and how he booked the shows, but this is the dude that put WWF on the map to make WWE a $9 billion conglomeration. That's just the truth. And from Mark Shapiro, he stated the fact that Vince McMahon focused on families and he wasn't maximizing to the full potential. You know what he's telling you? He's telling you that everybody that has families that provide on, feeding their kids and putting, food and money on to pay for their house and put food on the table for people, right? Forget trying to purchase tickets if you're one of those people, right? Because now you see all of these ridiculous ticket prices to where once again you're getting maxed out, and it's one thing to do business, right? Oh, James, it's a business and all of that stuff. But at some point you have to be honorable of what you're doing. You have to be honorable because you're doing all of these business decisions and claiming that, we're changing the game for WWE. It's not benefiting us. It's not benefiting anybody. And that's the problem. That's the problem that I have, and I'm sure that a lot of people do, as far as that is concerned. So there's so much that I can go into it. Every which way WWE shows their greed. They're trying to throw millions of dollars at Brock Lesnar, John Cena, all of these people, these legends that you're no longer going to rely on for the next 5 to 10 years. And you wonder why people on the main roster right now are not booked properly the way that they are. Because like Jarvis said, all they care about are just the viral moment. We don't give a shit how we get there. We just want the moment. We just want frickin' everybody to pop and cheer for Brock Lesnar or to pop and cheer for John Cena or whatever the case may be. And that's the problem with this frickin' company, man. The counter production that they're doing, all of this stuff to make you just watch WWE and only WWE, right? With WWE ID and trying to do everything imaginable to shrink in the competition, and your product is not backing it up. Because you might be making record revenue, you might be making all of this money, but eventually, fellas, that's going to dry out. That's going to run its course because the ratings continue to go down, merchandise sales continue to go down, and that's all you're going to have. That's all you have at this point, because that's why Netflix, who has a 5-year opt-out, they might not even wait frickin' 5 years to opt out of their contract with WWE. That's why Fox wanted nothing to do with WWE. That's why the USA Network is probably going to be on the outs at some point with SmackDown in the near future. All of these other metrics are telling you that the product of what they're putting out is not good enough. But this company doesn't care. You know what Triple H tells you? He just tells you to fuck off and just tell you to just shut up, enjoy the show. That's Triple H. That's the person that you say is a creative genius, right? The dude that can't book a freaking television show out of a wet paper bag, and he's got a bunch of freaking schmucks like freaking Road Dogg Jesse James and all of these other freaking people that are also performers and they're not writers. That's the freaking problem. So yeah, dude, if I gotta put this
That
up
is
again,
the problem.
it's a freaking F. And that's it.
All right. You guys have already touched on a lot of it, but I mean, just my thoughts. I would give it a D, not a D minus or D plus, just a D. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. It's entertaining when good things happen, but again, I've said it on this channel so many times. We're in a pop culture. That's what it is. It's like everyone it's for the pops. It's not for good feuds or good storytelling. It's about what can we do to make the crowd do this on their TikTok. Like, oh my God, AJ Lee's back. I can't believe, like, that's all it's for is those pops. And then we go back to plain ass booking. And one way to fix it, like I said, have a ranking system. For example, you have Damian Priest and Aleister Black. They're just kind of fighting because they don't like each other. But if they would have said like, oh, with Damian Priest winning this feud, he actually bumps up another spot towards the world title. Like he's going to be a contender one day. At least there's something behind it that's like, okay, there's a purpose for like them fighting. Right now, it's just like you're just watching people. It's like if I go to Jarvis's house right now and just like, oh, I don't like the way you were looking at me and we have a feud over it. Like, what's the point of it? It doesn't make sense. It's just out of nowhere, they're having this feud. I just think that there's a lack
But
of focus.
good storytelling takes away the need for rankings. That's what if we have good storytelling and actual storylines, you wouldn't have to
Yes, thank
worry
you,
about
thank you,
the
Jarvis.
rankings and
Yes,
anything like that because the storyline takes
absolutely.
care of
Well,
itself.
but that's what I'm getting at. Is I think I don't think we're going to get that, especially with Triple H there. Is we're just not going to get good storytelling because he wants to have
Yeah,
things.
right.
Oh, CM Punk and Seth Rollins is money. Let's have them fight for 8 years. Because it's just, what else are they going to do? You literally, this whole CM Punk reign is like, or not reign, but his run, it just feels like without Seth Rollins, like what else does he do? Like where would they literally put him on the
hmm
card? Look at the roster. You take Seth Rollins off of it. Does he fight with LA Knight, Jey Uso? Like these are boring feuds. Like the only
There's no
hot
heels.
feud you have, you're going to run it into the ground. You're going to run it into, like we've already run it into the ground. Like
Yeah.
Jarvis said earlier, what, part 10? And I know that the story wants to end with CM Punk getting his and winning the title at Mania. That's what I think they want to go.
You know what they're gonna do, Travis? You know what they're gonna do, Travis? They're going to have. You know who's gonna win the championship at WrestleMania? Because now that it's in Saudi, it's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is going to win that
True.
championship, bro. I am telling you right now, because of how they're trying to pump up Sami Zayn and this Rocky story, right? Because we all love Sami Zayn and he's putting on such great matches, right? With Rey Fenix and John Cena. He's got a scratch and claw, right? He was in a feud. We had to kick Karrion Kross to the curb, right? Because Karrion Kross is such a bad performer, right? All of these schmucks. It's like Karrion Kross sucks. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, we're gonna kick Karrion Kross to the curb. We're gonna put AJ Styles to go against the Authority when it has nothing organic or nothing realistic about it. Because why? Because his contract is coming to an end, right? The Karrion Kross was an actual movement, and you had Karrion Kross. You don't bring this guy back. You put him in to pump up Sami Zayn. Like, hey, you're never going to win the championship, Sami. Like, that's what they're doing. And you're going to put it on, you're going to have him win the championship at WrestleMania. Whether it's this year or next year, he's winning that championship. And, like, again, bro, how is it going to move the needle? You're putting guys like Jey Uso, Sami Zayn in the limelight as your focal point of the show. You're putting people like Logan Paul, again, who's a good performer, but people who are the focal point of your show that people just don't care They just don't care, bro. You had Karrion Kross that was authentic and organic. R-Truth, who's just going back to just being the comedy act, right? Because and how about the whole work thing, right? Everybody thought that was a freaking work, right? Oh, guys, it's all a work. Triple H, he had this all figured out, right? Yeah, that's clearly because now he's just doing comedic jokes with Brock Lesnar and he's getting F5, right? Well, Brock Lesnar,
Right.
That whole segment was trash. That whole segment was trash. I don't even know what was funny about it.
There was nothing funny. It's just like, but then there's people in the crowd though, too, to where like, oh, it's R-Truth. It's like we like this R-Truth, right? It's like, dude, I'm over it, bro. There was nothing funny about it. Like R-Truth to where like this dude was so organically over. You had everything to make this dude into something. But no, Triple H never wanted him back, and it's clear as freaking day, bro. This company is petty. They don't give a shit, and they continuously tell their fan base outside of the people that pay millions and hundreds millions of dollars that are in the live crowd and audience that they want to pander to. They continue to appease the live audience, and that's their problem. They don't listen to their actual fan base, and there's a reason why their ratings are down, and there's a reason why nobody gives a fuck. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, and then when it comes to the ticket prices, you know, who said it earlier? I think Jarvis did. Literally, TKO is using them to make money because they're in debt. And I mean, the problem is you're so focused on money. You're so focused on long-term storytelling, if any. It's just kind of a boring product week after week. Yeah. And then the PLE is something I want to watch. I'm at a point where I want to skip weekly TV and just go to the PLEs. Yeah. If they want to treat it so much like damn UFC, okay, then I'm only going to watch the pay-per-views. That you want it to be UFC so damn bad, let's just do that. Let's just watch pay-per-views and forget the filler bullshit we're getting during the week. Because, I mean, like I said, SmackDown was great. We popped for Brock Lesnar. I mean, the whole crowd did. I could care less whether he was there or not. And then AJ Lee obviously was a great moment live. But the Cena and Sami Zayn match was great, and then it peaked, and then all we had was Damian Priest and Aleister Black, and then Julia and Meechin. That's all we had.
And listen, I'll end it with this too, right? You know, because people will say like, "Oh, if you don't like what's going on, just stop watching it," right? That's the easy thing to say, right? It's like, listen, I get it. Like, it would be easy for me to just stop watching, and I'll be honest with you, fellas, outside of the AJ Lee return and the suspense of the return, I haven't watched a SmackDown and a Raw live in several months. I watched the show afterwards because I always want to check out because I do have a podcast and I do cover professional wrestling, but I don't watch these shows live because I just don't care. I just do not care. There's nothing going into these shows that I need to watch. So when people say, hey, if you don't like it, don't watch. Yeah, I'm not watching. And there's a lot of thousands of millions of people who stopped watching for fucking decades. So yeah, you're getting what you want. A lot of people are not watching. And outside of revenue, dude, that's all WWE is going to have because that's going to dry out with you maxing everybody out as far as ticket prices. And you wonder why people are not going to show up to these shows because it's not worth watching.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I apologize for ranting.
No. That's what the Roundtable's for. We are the wisest podcasters in wrestling culture currently. So, obviously, you could tell that we're all kind of disappointed, more or less, with the product. If you're watching at home, drop in the comments. Let us know your current state. If you think it's absolutely amazing right now, I'd love to hear why, and maybe we'll feature your comments on a future episode. And one more thing, make sure you check out the link tree in the description box. The affiliate links for all the merch, UFC, NBA, MLB, WWE, it's all down there. I got to thank all these gentlemen for coming on here. We got Ruthless Talk. We got Mike D from Wrestling from the 313, and we got Jarvis from Wrestling Brother. Also, again, the honorary Oos of Triple Threat Wrestling. So he's always part of this family. So, boys, I would love to do this more with you guys. I think every quarter maybe we get together and just shit all over them if they don't get better.
I'm all for it.
I'm with it.
All right. Make sure you go follow these guys. Make sure that you follow us here as well, and then we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace
out.